We've got less than 2 months to make the 11th annual Heart Ball a big success. Find out how you can help. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on the 11th annual American Heart Ball to be held February 5th at the Grand Dunes Marriott. And we're visiting with Glinda McIntyre, one of the co-chairs of the ball. Good morning, Glinda.
Good morning. How are you?
It's great to be with you. I'm doing great. You know, to think we were together in February at the Marriott, there in their lobby, leading up to the Heart Ball, to be here now, golly, I guess 9 months later, getting ready for the ball this upcoming February.
Right. It's going to be at the Marriott again, and it was such a fabulous ball last year. The whole affair was wonderful. We're really excited about it. It's going to be a month early, so that's why we're working on it, you know, in December. It's going to be February 5th, and we have a lot to do yet before, you know, the event comes along. But the Marriott has great plans for us for the evening, and we have a great band and entertainment and auction and everything. It's going to be fabulous.
The occasions are playing this year.
Yes, yes.
The chairman of the board was a big draw, but the occasions are a big draw. Tons of folks want to get out and see them.
That's right. They had a big hit, I guess in the 60s. There's an 8-piece band, and they have a horn section. They have 2 ladies that sing, and they're really active, really dynamic. And but they came out with a hit called "I'm a Girl Watcher" years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just a great dance band. They'll have everyone on the floor, I'm sure.
I'm a Girl Watcher. Yeah. That is great. What a great song. I remember that song, and I've heard it so many times. Now, you get tons of folks who come out oftentimes to big charitable events just for the band.
Right, right. They just love to get out and dance, and that band everyone knows how wonderful it is, and they'll do a great show.
Did y'all have a big event last year, Glenda? How was it well attended? It was last March, though, wasn't it?
Right, right. It was early March, and the Heart Association here, the Heart Ball here, is the largest attended ball in South Carolina.
You're
kidding?
Had
over 800 people.
In Little Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And we raised over $200,000 last year, and we're hoping to get quite a bit more than that this year.
Yeah. Actually, I think you all netted over $200,000 last year. I think raising more than $250,000 last year was an incredible event. And to think about those kind of funds coming out, as you said, out of Horry and Georgetown County is stupendous.
Oh, it is. It is. We're really excited. We have so much support from the local people and businesses, and we're working on a sponsorship right now, opportunities. We have 2 big sponsors right now. Our presenting sponsor is the Myrtle Beach Herald, which we are so grateful to.
We like
they
those
sponsored
guys.
last year. And then Grand Strand Regional Medical Center is our next sponsor. That's the next
Emerald
one
sponsor. They are a superstar.
Right.
And Grand Strand Regional comes in every year, year after year, not always at this big level, but they've come in, I think, $7,500 or so, which is a ton of money to commit to an event.
Yes, it is, and we're just thrilled that they could participate at that level.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we hope. And now, what are the efforts there? How do you go out communicating to different companies about sponsorship opportunities, and what are some of the benefits that a company could get in the area by sponsoring the Heart Ball?
Well, we have 7 different levels of sponsorship, and they will go from $1,000 up to $13,500. And you get lots of publicity. You get an ad in our program, and all through the next 2 months, you'll be mentioned on TV and newspaper. And you just get a lot of benefits that way, as well as an enjoyable evening.
So there'll be opportunities, promotional opportunities during December and January, leading up to the February 5th event.
Right. So the sooner we can get our sponsors online, the sooner we can promote them and their participation. And you can also do just some benefactor sponsorships too, just donations of money, and that's always appreciated too.
Sure. And now, if you were needed to run out now to get to work or get to school, is there a good number to call, someone to reach you to find out about opportunities, or would you prefer them to call the Heart Association office?
Yeah, they should call the Heart Association at 626-3939. We are mailing out sponsorship packets to the previous year's sponsors as we speak.
Right.
And then the rest are going out to local area businesses.
Okay. 843-626-3939. And this is the 11th annual Heart Ball.
Yes, the 11th.
Which is a big deal to think this thing's been going on. I know there's Heart Balls all over, or galas they're often called, in Columbia and in the upstate and in Charleston, even in the Florence area, in the PD area, and in Darlington. I mean, they're all over the area. But as you said, this is the most well-attended event in the state, and probably in the Southeast.
Oh, it is. It is. Every year it gets bigger and better.
Yes, so those words.
Yeah.
Glinda, about yourself, are you originally from the area?
No, I'm originally from Kentucky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that Kentucky, South Carolina? You mean the state of Kentucky? Yeah.
Yes, the state of Kentucky. And I got my nursing degree there and met my husband there. And we were married in college and have 2 children. Our two sons are grown.
Where do they live?
My oldest son is in Cincinnati, and the youngest son is in Jackson, Kentucky.
Okay, so they have found roots back in Kentucky.
Right, right.
Or, excuse me, Cincinnati's in Ohio. That's right, yeah.
All of our family's there, and I guess that's part of the reason why I'm so interested in helping with the Heart Association is we have a family history of heart disease. My father's had quadruple bypass surgery about 17 years ago, and he's doing well. My mother died of a stroke about 12 years ago.
Your mother died of a stroke. I didn't know that, Glinda.
So, and her mother died of a stroke. So it's, pretty prevalent in our family. And my husband does heart surgery at Grand Strand, and I just feel like it's more of a personal thing with me to help with Heart Association. I was in Columbia for 15 years before moving here, and I worked on it for most of that time. We were there 12, 13 years with the Heart Association, and coming here I've worked every year, volunteered for the Heart Association.
Now, did Brian's side of the family have a history of heart disease and stroke?
Yes, his father died of a heart attack suddenly.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So you oftentimes wonder how folks get into a profession. I mean, have you ever talked to Brian as if that was an inspiration for him to get him into cardiovascular surgery or into cardiological work?
Well, he was already in his residency when his father died, so he was already in the works.
He knew he was heading in that direction before. Yeah. How powerful then at that point, because he would understand every nook and cranny, every aspect of what his father had gone, what had caused that death, which would be, I'm sure, very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you never know. Heart disease presents itself in different ways lots of times, and sometimes it could be indigestion, and you just don't go to the doctor, and the next thing you know, you have progressed to a heart attack, a severe heart attack.
At Thanksgiving lunch, we talked about that at the table, just about aspects. Do we all know what are those common symptoms of heart disease or of a cardiovascular attack or of a stroke? And of course, the Heart Association puts out those cards. They put them all over schools or in airports and malls. Do those things stick in your mind as a nurse or as someone who's been interested in cardiology, or are you constantly wondering, golly, I wonder if that's a sign of a stroke?
Well, most of them are pretty significant, and if you get acute pain or something like that, the less significant ones are fatigue or nausea or indigestion or numbness, tingling, pain radiating down your left arm, things like that. Those are pretty obvious, but you do think about it, and I think a big impact on Americans now is, fast food, and your American population in general is getting heavier, and lack of exercise, and bad diet, just all those things contribute to it. And diabetes is on the rise too, so it's all big impact.
Yeah, part of the reason why oftentimes you'll see groups, Subway's worked hard to become a national, very large sponsor of the Heart Walks, to reflect on the fact that even though they're fast food, some of their items, and I think we oftentimes see groups like fast food restaurants getting involved with the Heart Association to try to kind of offset some of the impact of what some of their foods could have such a negative impact on the body.
Right, and I think that, it's great that they're offering low-fat options, and low-carb diets now.
That's right, low-carb diets. Break down the evening for a viewer who may not have attended a Heart Ball, whether it's in Darlington or Lumberton or Laurinburg or here at the beach or in Conway, if they hadn't been to one of the 10 here in the area previous to this Saturday, February 5th event, February 5th, 2005. Break down how the evening flows, Glinda, for a viewer who may not have attended, and why they would want to commit big bucks either to a table, and we say big bucks, big donation. Because, someone may say, I can't pay $150 for a ticket and rent a tuxedo or buy a tuxedo, buy a nice dress. But when you break down the 6-hour event, it becomes a $25 an hour aspect, and oftentimes it really, when you remind them that it's a donation, it's a lot easier to stomach. But break down the evening for them.
All right. Well, it's going to be held at the Marriott, and it starts at 6 and it goes till midnight. And at 6 p.m. you begin with the cocktail hour, and there will be lots of wonderful hors d'oeuvres here and there, and there will be a silent auction room. You can go in and look at all the wonderful items we're going to have for auction. Last year we had a four-wheeler, and we hope to get one this year, and a Segway motorized, I guess, scooter kind of thing. Not scooter, but...
Right, and a golf cart.
Golf cart and all that, and dinner parties and trips and art, jewelry, 2 Karastan rugs. We just have a lot of different unique items that everyone will be interested in. Mary Jo Rogers is your auction chair this year. Yes, Mary Jo is chairing it.
She is crackerjack.
She is. She's doing a fabulous job. She has everybody in line.
Oh, yeah. She's our new health and fitness columnist at the Herald, and just really keeping folks, getting them focused. It was great reading her column last week, and it's amazing to think about the difference. She was writing about one of those balls that the stabilizing ball, I think, the stability ball, whatever it's called. It's fascinating to think about certain things, but of course she has the time to really get out and work hard for the American Heart Association.
Right. She makes that time, that special time. She is a very busy person with lots of different interests. But anyway, we're glad she's working on it, and she's got the auction all under control here. And anyway, getting back to the order of events that night, after the cocktail hour, everyone will go in for dinner, and it's going to be a fabulous meal. The Marriott's planned. We start out with an appetizer of pistachio-encrusted sea bass.
Wow. Over
a wilted garlic spinach. And then there's a mixed green salad with wild mushrooms and apples and candied walnuts and cranberries and gorgonzola cheese with balsamic vinaigrette. And then the main entree is going to be a center-cut filet mignon with béarnaise or bordelaise sauce and then rosemary skewered shrimp. And served with horseradish mashed potatoes and blistered asparagus. And then
you've memorized this menu, Glenn. I love it. I haven't seen you look down once.
And then the grand finale will be the amaretto cheesecake with Kahlua cream sauce.
That's the specialty of the Marriott up there, the Grand Dunes, the Oceanfront Marriott.
It is a beautiful place, and there'll be wine served with your dinner as well as coffee and tea.
Great.
And then dancing during dinner and afterwards, and a live auction of a few items during dinner.
Right.
And then you have the opportunity to stay at the Marriott if you don't want to go home that night.
Yeah, for greatly reduced rates. I think I saw that, even though not everyone's able to stay. The opportunity to stay for $89 for an ocean view or $109 for an oceanfront room there, something that would normally go for close to $200. And this is in the off season, in the summer. I can't even imagine what those rates would be. But in early February, $109 for an oceanfront room there at a top of the Mark Hotel is spectacular.
Oh, it is fabulous. And if you want to come early the day of the event, there's the spa you could take advantage of, and the sauna and that kind of thing, and just enjoy your whole day to get ready for the ball.
Or make it a weekend.
Right.
That's right, to come in and make it a weekend. Folks should call the Heart Association office to find out more.
Right. It's 626-3939.
Right, 843-626-3939. You know, so often I was finding folks who want to come down and make it a weekend in Myrtle Beach or there on the ocean front. You know, there's amazing things to do in the PD or in southeastern North Carolina, but the one thing obviously we've got that no one's got is the ocean. 60 miles of that from the state line down into, you know, into Pawleys and otherwise. But it's a fascinating when we think about that opportunity for an event like this, and it being the 11th annual. What are some of the things that a viewer could do to help out to make this year's ball a success? Could they donate time? Could they donate, obviously, other than buying tickets or tables or letting someone know about sponsorship opportunities? Could they donate auction items? What are some of the things that they could do to help make it a big event this year?
Well, we are in need of auction items always. We can always use that. And any kind of dinners, items, even garden items, art, anything like that.
Right.
I guess we have an oil portrait, and some of the local chefs are doing dinner parties for 6 or 8 in your home.
Great.
And that
They'll
always
come
goes
to your
well.
house to prepare a dinner. Wow, that'd be huge.
Yeah, barbecues, things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Golf. We're going to auction off golf at different places in the area. And fishing trips, hunting trips, trips out of the country.
Out of the country?
Yeah. Well, we had a Cancun or a Mexico trip last year.
Right.
And there is I think a week in Fort Lauderdale this year at a condo there with the use of a boat and a car, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. I think Mary Jo worked on that a little bit. Her husband's a yacht broker, so makes it easy to look at boat opportunities.
That's right. So anyway, that's just one of the ways that we could use some help is for auction items, and other ways for sponsorship.
Right.
Like I said, the sooner you let the Heart Association know, the more publicity you can get
Benefits
beforehand.
you can get,
Right.
absolutely, from those sponsorship opportunities. Who are some of the other volunteers that are really dedicated this year with you, Glinda, in this year's Heart Ball?
All right, well, I'm co-chairing it with 2 other people, Elaine Thompson and Jennifer Wilson, and they're all doing a great job in helping promote the Heart Ball. And it's a lot of work and not much time left to do it before we start printing our programs and everything. So.
That's right. And but of course, when we think about the volunteer base, the 3 of you all as co-chairs, you, Elaine Thompson, and Chief Judge Wilson. And then you've got a whole slew of folks involved in promotions, in sponsorships, obviously in auction items. I mean, there's tons of different committees that really make this event. You're pushing to raise, I think, $285,000.
Right. We have a huge goal this year, but I
That
feel
is.
sure we can make it.
That is a big goal. That's right. Well, of course, last year you all had an oversold event. I mean, so many folks wanted to attend that couldn't attend because the 800-some people that you packed in there, and obviously to see the chairman of the board. And this year, as you said, the occasions. Wow.
Right. It's going to be great. Well, we have about 50 people on the committee, so they're all doing different things, from publicity to invitations to auction items, and all, just helping with sponsorship. So.
Are there rooms for any more folks to join the committee or to get active if they've got opportunities to go out, or even just to help you pick up auction items? Are there other things, when viewers think about things they could do, cutting a check's very important, or donating cash, donating time is oftentimes as important or more important, because you just don't have enough time in the day to get everything done. And the Heart Association staff, Michelle and Janine and Tammy Eves, I mean, the 3 of them just can't get it all done. I mean, you're all volunteers.
That's right. They always need help down there at the Heart Association office doing stuffing envelopes and getting the sponsorship proposals out and proofing, all the literature and everything.
Right.
So they can always use help doing that, and also picking up auction items. So any sort of help would be appreciated.
When you talk to Brian, whether it's anecdotally or directly, Glenn, you think about some of the aspects that he goes through on a regular basis, providing cardiovascular surgery every day, I guess, or every other day, or as often as he does. What are some of the things does he share with you some of the things going on? Obviously, he can never talk to you about the people themselves or mention their names, but to be able to talk to you about what's going on in their lives that may have precipitated this cardiovascular issue or other issue in their life. Well, I mean, how does that impact that you as a nurse or formerly a nurse and him as a cardiovascular surgeon, y'all are able to talk about some of the issues that have really set the stage for people to have serious cardiac problems?
Right, right. Well, I think it makes you realize the impact of certain aspects of your life on heart disease and everything, like your diet and exercise, and keeping track of your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and things like that. It's just really important, and I think everyone should get screened. And I know Grand Strand does screenings pretty often at Coastal Grand. I think they start doing that every day now.
Right.
At the mall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's really important. Even a young person, you see people dying of heart attacks when they're 50 or in their 40s. Mm-hmm. You just never know. And
you really don't. That's right.
Yeah. It's more common in older people, but it can happen at a young age too.
Mm-hmm. So you said there are multiple levels of sponsorships. Mm-hmm. A viewer could get involved by encouraging, if they work at a company or if they own a company, and could buy a sponsorship package. There are multiple different levels there. And even the presenting sponsorship, I know talking to the folks at the Herald, they're happy for someone else to come in as a co-presenting sponsor. If someone else would be willing to come in as a co-presenting sponsor, they're dying, because obviously the goal is to get the most money possible to fight heart disease and stroke. But there's multiple sponsorship levels, and the benefits change depending on how much you're willing to commit financially.
Right. You get more publicity and more seats, more tickets, and that way you can invite more of your company's personnel or referring or business partners,
Mm-hmm.
And the people that attend the Heart Ball are from all different kinds of businesses. It's not just physicians or health professionals. It's lawyers and bankers and dentists, and just from all kinds of different professions and companies, local companies. So we have a lot of good support. I know Dandelion does the decorations every year.
Rita and the folks over there are amazing. Of course, this is less than 2 weeks before Valentine's, so it's such a crunch time for her. I know it's crazy, but she continues to make that commitment year after year after year.
It is, and we really appreciate her help. It is the weekend before Valentine's, and I'm hoping that everyone will choose this as an opportunity to go out and have a wonderful time at this black tie event before Valentine's. Start celebrating early.
That's right. Start celebrating Valentine a good week plus. That's a great idea, Glinda. And of course, all the literature for it, and just the heart literature that goes along with the American Heart Association is so apropos. The month of February is such an important month, every month, obviously, in fighting heart disease and stroke. We just got a couple of minutes, Glenn, and when you think about breaking down that evening, it's the aspect to attend an event with such an incredible live and silent auction that you just can't attend another event in town. The opportunity to pay, it being a donation to the Heart Association, but being able to attend the live and silent auction there, as well as hear the occasion, as well as have that incredible menu that you recited from memory. Except for the Bordelaise thing, that's right, that's a small thing. But of course, hearing the occasions, being at the Marriott, getting a chance to get a reduced rate, getting dressed up, as you said, right before Valentine's. Is that the most important aspect to get out to folks?
Oh, definitely. It's just a rare opportunity to have all that in one night and to be able to be with a lot of your friends. You'll see a lot of people there. And with 800 people plus, you're bound to run into a few. And the auction items, the opportunity to take home some nice things, artwork, and just all the neat things, four-wheelers and that kind of stuff. And then have a nice meal in addition, and a great band to listen to.
Oh, yeah.
And the opportunity to spend the night, too, if you are too tired to drive home.
That's right, and let's hope folks will be.
Yeah.
Let's hope folks will be, because I'm sure the Marriott would love for you to wake up in the morning and get a feel of what it's like up there. It's truly a treat. It's a top-shelf hotel, magnificent facility there. You think about the experiences in Columbia, you think about, obviously, your medical background, and 25 years now, plus, you've been involved with the American Heart Association, Glinda.
Yeah, it's been a really long a long time of helping with the Heart Association, and I've learned a lot. And you see different sorts of benefits in different towns. And I think this one is one of the better ones, for sure. It's a great event.
We hope a heck of a lot of folks will be out there. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Enjoyed
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Glinda McIntyre coming up next. You hear a menu like that, you think, how could it be a life-saving mission? The life-saving mission is making that commitment to the American Heart Association, whether it's getting out to volunteer to pick up auction items, getting out to hear the occasions play, getting out to eat that incredible meal. There's so many volunteer opportunities, things you can do with that donation you're making. It's $150 for a ticket. There's sponsorship opportunities. You get big benefits out of that, whether it's a friend you know who owns a company that could get something out of the American Heart Association by promoting their involvement in fighting heart disease and stroke. It's a constant effort. It's a life-saving mission. Get in that rhythm. Give them a call, 843-626-3939. That's 626-3939. The commitment is great by volunteers like Glinda McIntyre and Elaine Thompson and Chief Judge Jennifer Wilson. They're stepping out on a constant basis. There's a lot of other folks who want to fight heart disease and stroke for whatever reason. It impacts you. It impacts your community. Get in the rhythm.